Greece's dazzling cinematic spectacle, replete with timeless love songs, dances, and romance, has been on screen for 30 years. But there's something John Travolta has kept hidden from the world up to this point. He has finally come clean about what went down behind the scenes after all these years. Fans' ideal world is completely at odds with this reality. The movie's unseen struggles and decisions were illuminated by his confession. A Love Story is a Hollywood classic, and we're going to reveal its hidden meaning to you. Among the most well-known musicals of all time is Grease. Directed by Randall Kaiser, it was released in 1978. An identical theatrical musical served as the inspiration for the film. Upon its debut, it became an instant sensation across the globe. Music, dancing, and the central love tale were all well received by the audience. It has been around for over 40 years, and new generations continue to watch and love it. The setting is Ryle High, a made-up American high school in the 1950s. Sandy Olsen, Olivia Newton-John, and John Travolta, Danny Zuko, are the primary actors. The film opens with Danny and Sandy meeting on a summer vacation. They have a brief romance after falling for each other. They are both certain that they will never cross paths again. However, Sandy changes schools at the start of the school year and enrolls at Ryle High, the same institution that Danny goes to. The film's central plot point is thus established. One such group is the T-Birds, of whom Danny is a member. They are a group of carefree lads that hang out and put on an act. A clique of trendy gals known as the Pink Ladies became Sandy's buddies through their friendship with the T-Birds. The film chronicles Danny and Sandy's struggles to maintain their connection among the pressures of high school and their own maturation as individuals. The soundtrack of the film features songs that went viral at the box office. Some of their songs became classics, including Summer Nights, You're the One That I Want, Grease Lightning, and Hopelessly Devoted to You. The plot was enhanced by the unique contribution of each song. Danny and Sandy's divergent accounts of their summer romance are on full display in Summer Nights. In an effort to come out as tough, Danny boasts to his pals, while Sandy presents her side in a more romantic light. Sandy sings one of the most heartbreaking ballads, Hopelessly Devoted to You. She believes Danny has changed and lost interest in her, and this has left her feeling devastated. Her fragility and profound emotions are shown in the song. One of Olivia Newton-John's most memorable performances was of this song. As the plot progresses, this song sets the mood for the characters' internal and external conflicts. In Grease, the dancing scenes are particularly noteworthy. Vibrant costumes, upbeat music, and friendly competition characterize the high school dance competition scene. Cho interrupts Danny and Sandy's dance attempt, and Cha ends up winning. This scene serves to heighten the tension between Sandy and Danny, while simultaneously propelling the plot along. At the end of the film, there is a scene at the carnival that stands out. Sandy, who has been through a lot, decides to surprise Danny by changing her appearance. She arrives with a self-assured demeanor, a new hairdo, and form-fitting black attire. Danny is both surprised and thrilled. Wearing a Letterman sweater is another way he tries to demonstrate his willingness to change. They perform the duet, You're the One That I Want, which went on to become a top single in the charts. Singing We Go Together, the entire company celebrates love, camaraderie, and the boundless energy of youth as the carnival comes to a close. It was a huge success for Grease. At the box office, it earned over $300 million, which was a significant deal for that era. Worldwide, the soundtrack album sold millions of copies as well. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John became household names all over the world because to this film. Grease catapulted John Travolta to even more fame than he had achieved with Saturday Night Fever. Olivia Newton-John, who was previously only famous for her singing, became famous all over again after appearing in the film. Grease expanded its role beyond that of a film as time went on. A cultural phenomenon it became. Screenings were staged with audience participation through singing, character costumes, and quoting lines from the film. The musical was staged in several high school and theater productions. The fashion of the 1950s was once again lauded. The 1982 sequel, Grease 2, featured Maxwell Caulfield and Michelle Pfeiffer. It was successful, although not nearly as much as the original. Even in modern times, the influence of Grease can be felt. It keeps drawing in new viewers, and longtime admirers keep coming back for more. All four genres, romance, comedy, drama, and music, are expertly blended in this film. Central to the plot are themes of coming of age, finding one's place in the world, and first love. The film maintains its modern vibe even after all these years. Both John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John have gushed about the picture, describing it as a watershed moment in their careers. Yet there's more. The long-awaited revelation by John Travolta. Nobody could have predicted that Grease which premiered in 1978, would go on to become one of the most beloved musicals of all time. Catapulted John Travolta to superstardom and cemented Olivia Newton-John's position in cinematic annals. However, there were hidden truths that the audience was never privy to. Despite the upbeat music and vibrant dance routines, years passed with Travolta remaining silent. However, he eventually started to reveal the truth about what had transpired. Thanks to Saturday Night Fever, Travolta had already achieved stardom. He became synonymous with disco because to that film. However, when Grease was considered, many questioned his ability to portray Danny Zuko, the charismatic and resolute high school student. It was a lot of strain, Travolta said afterwards. The studio was putting their faith in him to bring in viewers, so he felt he had to be the film's hero. Meanwhile, he was well aware that his promising career could crumble in the event of his failure. His relationship with Olivia Newton-John was one of the first secrets he revealed. Olivia was uncertain, but the studio was desperate for her. She was anxious that the film's failure would hurt her singing career and that she was too old to play a teen. She was prodded by Travolta. Because he thought Sandy required someone with Sandy's combination of sweetness and strength, he battled to get her cast. He now realizes that the film would never have been successful without her. Production values were low. In an interview after filming Wrapped, Travolta discussed the oppressive heat, hard hours, and relentless reshooting of dance moves that were necessary to achieve his desired results. The end sequence with the carnival, for instance, was shot in extremely hot conditions. Members of the cast passed out, cosmetics melted, and rage ensued. Still, audiences see nothing but excitement and joy when they view the film. According to Travolta, in order to make it look easy, the performers had to work through their fatigue. The reality regarding his own performance issues was also revealed. The dancing took weeks of practice, but it seems easy on film. During dress rehearsals, Travolta hurt his ankle, and he worried he wouldn't be able to keep up. And yet he would not budge. He thought Danny Zuko should project an image of vitality, strength, and smoothness. Thus, he persisted in exerting himself despite the discomfort. Regarding the infamous handjive sequence, Travolta also divulged some information. Several performers were left behind due to the intricate choreography. In order for the group to keep up, Travolta confessed that he had quietly requested the choreographer to modify some moves or slow them down. If the sequence appeared chaotic, he was aware that the entire film would be negatively impacted. That choice paid dividends in the end, as the scene rose to prominence as a cinematic classic. In addition, Travolta dropped a bombshell on the plot of the story. Grease was panned by critics for being nothing more than a fluffy teen romance with nice tunes, but John Travolta saw deeper. According to him, the movie depicted the struggle between self-perception and the need to reveal one's true self to one's loved ones. He saw more than just two cartoon characters in Sandy and Danny. They represented the plight of young people as they try to establish their place in the world, mature, and discover who they are. There was concealed meaning in even the renowned conclusion. According to Travolta, Danny's decision to wear the Letterman's sweater symbolizes his readiness to adapt for Sandy, and Sandy's choice to come out in leather is a statement about her will to own her image. What made the conclusion so emotional, according to Travolta, was this balance of giving and taking. It went beyond romantic feelings. It dealt with metamorphosis. Travolta acknowledged the profound impact the film's popularity had on his life many years later. He got famous all around the world after Grease became a worldwide smash, which made hundreds of millions of dollars. The strain, nevertheless, was real. People assumed he was Danny Zuko everywhere he went. According to Travolta, he found that challenging since he aspired to develop as an actor and play more substantial parts. But people kept going back to Grease regardless of his actions. After seeing how the film's happiness provided an experience that viewers might cling to for years, he finally accepted it. His truth was tragic as well. The 2022 death of Olivia Newton-John shocked him. Despite the years that passed without them collaborating again, Travolta acknowledged that the friendship they formed in Grease remained strong. Their last encounter at anniversary parties brought back memories of how enchanted the film had been, he said, adding that she was more than just his co-star. She was also his buddy. John Travolta's revelation of reality about Grease was not a single sinister secret, but rather the product of a laborious process fraught with peril, difficulty, and profound feelings. It was a project that, at various moments, nearly collapsed, but was able to pull together thanks to perseverance and faith. Travolta demonstrated that there was blood, guts, and tough decisions underlying all the joy. Grease remains one of the most beloved musicals of all time, even after more than 4 decades. Thanks to Travolta's forthrightness, viewers have a fresh perspective on the picture. Summer evenings and adolescent aspirations weren't the only things involved. The piece was about artists who, in order to make something truly remarkable, would go to extreme lengths. The gift of friendship is a timeless reality that gives the film greater relevance in modern times. Among Hollywood's most cherished friendships, John Travolta's was with Olivia Newton-John. Acting together in the film Grease was the spark that ignited their friendship. He portrayed Danny Zuko, the laid-back leader of the T-Birds, and she portrayed Sandy Olsen, the timid and kind girl who develops feelings for him. A lot of people thought they were actually dating because of how well they acted together on TV. What developed, however, was not a love affair. It was a bond that would last a lifetime, formed on caring, admiration, and respect. They were both at pivotal moments in their lives when they initially crossed paths on the Grease set. After Saturday Night Fever, John's star began to soar. Despite Olivia's fame as a singer, she had never before appeared in a big-budget film. She had John's support right from the start. Since he thought she would be the ideal Sandy, he actively sought for her to be cast. According to Olivia, she might not have accepted the part if he hadn't pushed her. He clearly appreciated her talent because of this early backing. Acting out scenes, dancing, and rehearsing took up a lot of their time on set. Their chemistry was so genuine that it brought their performances to life. Something enchanted the audience with their shared laughter, on-screen glances, and dance moves during the musical portions. They became fast friends behind the scenes, cracking laughs and supporting each other through the challenging phases of filming. Their relationship further deepened upon Grease's release. They were already famous, and the movie took them to a whole new level of fame. Their celebrity drew them closer together rather than apart. At parties honoring the film's success, they frequently made appearances together. John and Olivia were asked time and time again by fans if they were dating, but they both made it clear that their connection was based on friendship rather than romance. Trust was a key component of their long-lasting friendship. John and Olivia had unwavering faith in one another, which is rare in Hollywood relationships. They would have each other to lean on in times of need. John was impressed by Olivia's poise and generosity. Despite Olivia's admiration for John's kindness and devotion, the two never allowed rumors or gossip to tarnish their relationship. Instead, they consistently spoke favorably of one another in interviews. Two of Ind, released in 1983, was their second collaboration. Even though the picture bombed at the box office, the two stars had a great time together. The bond between them transcended the success of their films. They maintained communication and rarely missed a chance to get back together, even when they weren't working together. During the anniversaries of Grease, their bond grew even more apparent. On stage together, frequently costumed as their respective roles, John and Olivia celebrated the 20th anniversary in 1998 and the 40th anniversary in 2018. Seeing them perform live again brought joy to their fans. Their relationship had never deteriorated, as these get-togethers proved. Their bond extended well beyond the film, as seen by the happiness they had while performing together. Throughout her life, Olivia overcame numerous obstacles, but her protracted fight against cancer was the most formidable. During those challenging years, John was there for her. Her bravery was something he frequently praised, seeing her as an inspiration. He spoke highly of her resilience and optimism in the face of adversity. On the flip side, Olivia said that John was the kind of friend who would never abandon her. They became closer as they grew older because of the assistance they gave and received from one another. John and Olivia have stated that being friends was better for them, despite the fact that fans occasionally wish they had been a couple. According to them, their working relationship would not have been the same if they had dated while in Grease. They maintained their friendship, and in doing so, preserved that enchantment for decades. A friendship that endured for over 4 decades was born out of their mutual regard for one another, and was unusual in Hollywood. In 2022, John was devastated by Olivia's death. He was very frank about his loss and the impact she had on him. The thought of losing her was like burying a loved one in his heart. He spoke of her as an inspiration, and vowed that she would live on in his heart forever. Because their friendship had been on display for so long, fans throughout the world could relate to his feelings of loss. Rather than focusing on a love affair, the film about John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John centers on their enduring friendship. Two celebrities might share the limelight without causing rivalry, envy, or controversy, as they demonstrated. In an innocent way, they demonstrated love, loyalty, and kindness to one another. Their friendship gave Grease more depth, as viewers could sense that the events depicted on TV were based on real-life events. When people think of them now, it's not just Danny and Sandy who come to mind. It's also John and Olivia, the best friends who shared laughs, songs, and support for over 40 years. Their bond exemplifies how friendship may often triumph over love. It has the potential to endure for a longer period of time, provide greater solace, and create an enduring memory. In interviews and public engagements, John keeps Olivia's memory alive by telling anecdotes about her. Their friendship was one of the best things that ever happened to him. To the audience, it serves as a constant reminder that true friendships are hard to come by, but the ones that do exist can endure a lifetime. At the same time, Greek fans might have missed a few strange details and slip-ups. I propose that we examine a handful of them. Even after all these years, the film Grease has managed to maintain its audience appeal. Danny and Sandy's love story, together with the memorable melodies and vibrant dance sequences, lingers in people's minds. There were many weird facts and humorous mishaps that happened during filming, but beneath the polished movie that viewers see on screen, there are many more. While some of these outtakes were included in the final version, others became anecdotes that the actors told afterwards. Observing Grease becomes much more captivating due to these minute characteristics. In regards to Sandy, there is one strange thing regarding Olivia Newton-John. At the start of filming, she was actually 29 years old, much beyond the age of a typical high school senior. Additionally, John Travolta was 23 years old, which is older than the average adolescent. Quite a few of the performers portraying high school students were actually in their 30s or later. The 33-year-old Stalker Channing was the actor who played Rizzo. Audiences yet took the actors at their word that they were in high school because of how enthusiastically they performed. The film concludes with a carnival scene that included even another blooper. It was a scorching hot day when filming wrapped. Members of the cast danced in the sun, while dressed heavily in leather jackets and elaborate costumes. The heat caused several to pass out or feel nauseous. No one would ever guess how awkward it actually was in the finished product. Even though they were having a hard time off camera, everyone appeared positive and active. In the carnival scene, there's also an odd costume blooper. Red high-heeled shoes complement Sandy's black leather ensemble. As if the shoes had been swapped out between takes, they appeared different in a few images. Because most viewers are fixated on Sandy's metamorphosis, they failed to spot this editing error. The leather leggings Sandy wears in the last scene are another intriguing detail. Olivia Newton-John had to be sewed into them because they were that tight. Though she was utterly paralyzed, her expression went down in cinematic history as one of the most memorable. On set, there were some hilarious blunders. Despite Travolta and the T-Erd's claims that their car is automatic in the hit song Grease Lightning, the film depicts a stick-shift vehicle. Fans with keen eyes recognized the error, even though it was little. The Ryle High Dancing Contest is the site of yet another gaffe. No contact of the bodily parts is permitted, according to the announcer who introduces the regulations. There have been reports of couples engaging in rule-breaking physical contact during the tournament. The announcer appears unconcerned, and no one intervenes to stop them. It remained in the film as a humorous paradox. There is a blooper in the hand-dive sequence as well. The camera pans out to the spectators as Danny and Sandy dance. In one scene, the clapping of the extras is totally discordant with the music. The scenario moves at such a rapid pace that most viewers don't even notice how awful it appears. An odd fact about Grease has to do with the last scene's flying automobile. As Danny and Sandy belt out the song, "You're the One That I Want," their automobile takes flight. Many were perplexed by this conclusion. While some viewers saw it as a lighthearted fantasy scene, others took it as confirmation that Danny had died early in the film, and that the last moments were all a dream. Even though the production and actors clarified later that it was all in good fun, the flying automobile scene is still one of the most bizarre parts of the movie. When you look attentively, you can notice some little elements that seem off. The high school band, for instance, performs at the pep rally, but the way they hold and play their instruments doesn't correspond to the song. The performers only played along with the recorded music. Because of the color mismatch, it seems a bit off-putting. Once again, the Summer Night song features an error. In the backdrop, extras dance and move around while Sandy and Danny sing about their summer romance. Some of them seem to lose their bearings and run into one another if you look closely. It wasn't intentional, but it makes the scene funnier. There is an oddity even in the opening credits. Various items, including combs and a bird, get up in Donnie's unruly hair in the animated scene. In comparison to the rest of the film, this cartoonish design feels completely out of place. It became an integral aspect of Grease's allure. However, many fans question its inclusion. In spite of these gaffes and oddities, Grease was a huge hit. Those slip-ups have zero negative impact on the film. Actually, A lot of movie buffs enjoy finding these typos and other small mistakes since they add authenticity to the picture. They bring to light the fact that the actors and crew were really ordinary people, putting in long hours in hostile environments. These interesting tidbits contribute to Grease's status as a timeless classic, alongside the music and acting. Viewing it with these outtakes in mind offers viewers a fresh perspective on the movie. It demonstrates that even beloved films can have flaws, and those flaws can occasionally enhance the tale. Having said that, John Travolta did go through some tough times that molded him into the actor he is today. Unleashing the potential of resolve, John Travolta came into this world in Englewood, New Jersey, on February 18, 1954. He was one of 6 children, all of whom had elder siblings. Helen and Salvatore, his parents, were not shirkers. In addition to being an actor and acting instructor, his father ran a tire repair business. John was immersed in an artistic environment from a young age. He got the notion that acting could be a part of his life, from seeing his mother perform and educate. John brimmed with energy and wonder when he was a kid. He frequently put on small shows for his family and loved making them laugh. He had a passion for flying and hoped to become a pilot in the future. But performing was still his life's work. He enjoyed performing in the performing arts. Because all of the Travolta children shared his passion for the arts, growing up in the family was an exciting and encouraging environment for expression. Although John attended Dwight Mororo High School, he struggled to make friends there. A lot of his classmates didn't see him the same way. John was more concerned with acting and dancing than with sports or schoolwork. Because of this, he felt completely alone, and he made up his mind to drop out of school and pursue acting when he was 17 years old. It was a bold move, but he was confident in his abilities and would be to succeed. John departed for New York City after finishing his education. Opportunities for budding artists abound in the city. Acting, dancing, and voice lessons were all things he enrolled in. Furthermore, he never gave up on auditions, even when he was repeatedly turned down. Cast in the touring company of the musical Grease was one of his first major breaks. His stage presence and self-assurance were bolstered by his minor role. Over Here, a musical that he appeared in later on Broadway, brought him much more fame. It was during this time that John toiled away to meet his expenses. In the course of following his passion, he worked odd jobs. His love for acting kept him going even when he had financial difficulties. He began to garner attention gradually. He started making commercial appearances in the early 1970s. He gained confidence in front of the camera and some much-needed financial backing from these little parts. Moving to Los Angeles, home of a thriving film and TV business, was his next move. He continued to try out for parts there until 1975, when he landed a small role in the horror flick, The Devil's Rain. The film may not have been a smash hit, but it did set a precedent. He had some success landing guest spots on TV series, but he had not yet achieved stardom. When he was cast in the 1975 TV program Welcome Back, Kotter, everything changed. He was the show's breakout star, playing the role of Vinnie Barbarino, a charismatic and humorous high school student. Audiences adored John because to his inherent charisma, attractiveness, and comic timing. During the course of the show's 4 seasons, Jay became famous thanks to his character. His fame spread rapidly across the United States. Simultaneously, John started to get offers for film parts. Carrie, a horror film adaptation of Stephen King's novel, gave him his big break in 1976. Billy Nolan, a nasty adolescent, was his role. Despite his small part, the film was a commercial smash, introducing him to moviegoers. However, Saturday Night Fever in 1977 was the true turning point. John portrayed Tony Manero, a troubled young guy from Brooklyn who found solace in the rhythms of disco in this film. Acting, dancing, and a range of emotions were all necessary for the part. As the part came up, John spent a lot of time training and his efforts paid off. Many people thought John was fantastic in the picture, and it went on to become a huge hit. The young actor was nominated for a Best Actor Oscar at the tender age of 23. He became an overnight sensation because to this role. In 1978, he had even more success with Grease, a musical in which he made a triumphant return after an early stage role. In the role of Danny Zuko, he once again shone his charisma, musical ability, and dance prowess. He was already one of Hollywood's most promising young actors, but this picture catapulted him to stardom. Reflecting on his formative years, John's path was far from smooth. Rejection, money problems, and dropping out of school early were all things he had to contend with. But what got him through was his enthusiasm for performing, his self-confidence, and his resolve. He drew inspiration from his artistic ancestors and honed his abilities through training in New York. He was at his peak performance readiness when he took the stage for Saturday Night Fever and subsequently Grease. John Travolta's ascent exemplifies the power of perseverance and dedication. He became a world-renowned actor after beginning his career as an actor in New Jersey. His readiness to take chances and the decisions he made as a young man set him on the path to stardom in Hollywood. He had become one of the world's most famous actors by the late 1970s, and he was also a fan favorite on television. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.